So excited to see all of your faces. Gosh, I love these calls because of this. I love getting on here, seeing your faces. It's one thing to see your pictures on social media, but to see you and get a glimpse of live and in person you, each and every one of you, I absolutely love it. So thank you for getting on here. If for no other reason, you just made my day. So thank you for getting on here. And we are super excited about tonight's call. We had some folks, I don't know if you saw on social media, just get back from Mexico. They were in Mayakoba, which Mayakoba is the name of the resort area, and it is in Cancun. So there you go there. But I was able to go to this resort a couple years ago, and I know how incredible it was. I know they had an amazing time. And we're going to hear from them and go over some things that they learned when you're at these Emerald Extravaganza and Diamond Destination events. Corporate brings in speakers for you. So yes, we do get a lot of time to play, to swim, to go to the pool, the ocean, all the things. We get a lot of time for that. But we also get some really good quality training, which is awesome. And then there's a tax write-off too. So, you know, because you're on a work trip. But so we love these events, and we want to hear from a few of our jewels that were able to go and just got back. I know Jana just got back on Saturday, and then the rest of y'all just got back, like Wednesday or Thursday. So it's not quite like the recovery from Hawaii though, with all the time difference, but that's a bonus. Now here's what I know is going to happen going into this call. Some of you are going to listen to their stories from Mexico, and in your head, your brain is going to tell you that's great for them. It's never going to happen for you. I know that that's going to happen. That's how our brains work. We are so hard on ourselves, aren't we? Like, we would never talk to other people the way we talk to ourselves. You would never tell someone on your downline, Emerald Extravaganza, that's never going to happen for you. Like, you would never do that. Can you imagine if your upline did that? You'd be like, but you would never do that. But our brain can trick us into believing that we can't earn some of these really big, amazing things. Here's what I know to be true. Every person that you are going to hear from tonight at some point or another has had struggles in their business. Every single one of them. I don't even have to ask them, have you ever struggled in your business? I just know that it's true. Now, for some of them, I know some of their struggles, but I just want you all to keep that in mind. Every single one of them. And you ask why? Why do they have struggles? Because they're a business owner. And we have struggles in this business. Our struggles look different than if we had a shop somewhere, a brick and mortar business, but there are struggles because this is a business and you are a business owner. So I want you to remember that as you're listening to them tell some of these stories and some of the things that they've learned, that yes, going on these trips, it is completely possible for you. And there's another one coming up in February. Am I saying this right? Punta Cana? Am I saying that right? Or is that really Texan of me? Okay.
It's close enough.
Okay. Y'all, and we're going to talk more about this during this call, but the contest for that leaders retreat is designed for senior rubies and below. Now, I don't mean that Jules can't earn it. Jules definitely can earn it, but it's designed so to pack the boat with as many senior rubies and below. That's how the contest is set up. And we're going to talk more about that. I think Jana's going to talk a little bit about that during this call. If she wasn't planning on it, she is now. But I just want you guys to keep that in mind, that I know that this trip and the Emerald Extravaganza, the Diamond Destination, it's possible for all of us. Absolutely 100%. So we are ready to get started. I think most people are on here. You may want to send some reminder text messages to your team. If you see someone not on here that should be on here, just send them a quick reminder message and just say, hey, hop on here and listen. We're just hearing from some of the girls that just got back from Mexico. Okay, we are going to get started with the one, the only Emerald brand ambassador, Vicky Helbert. Go Cowboys. Take it away.
I had to wear at least somebody that won recently, so I put on my cowboy shirt. Anyway, we won't talk about that. Amber, I just have to tell you, we missed you tremendously. Um, we just kept looking for you. You just should have been there, but you were right where you should have been. And we thought about you a lot, missed you a lot. And I just want you to know that you were missed. But anyway, I did a little call with some of my team on Friday night. So if they are on here, I apologize because you're going to hear a little bit of the same thing because it just had a huge impact on me. You are spoiled rotten. You're in one of the most beautiful locations you've ever been in your life. You get to see some things you never thought you would ever get to see. And the possibility of me getting to take my husband with me was just a dream come true. Getting to take him away from work for a few days, and it just was so wonderful, and I enjoyed every second. But like you said, we also get a little bit of training. We were down there for 5 days, and about 4.5 hours of that we were in some training, and the rest of it was free time. But the training was superb, and we got to hear about some exciting things to come, some changes that are going to be happening, just all kinds of things to look forward to. And but some of the stories that mostly stuck out to me was one that Gene Tip shared with us. He was just talking about how they pay attention to where Plexus is going in the future. And he used the example of the store Circuit City. And as soon as he said that store, everybody kind of giggled. We were like, oh yeah, I remember that store, and they're not around anymore. If you know the story. And I forgot about him. Out of sight, out of mind. They were gone. And he got us all tickled. He said that's where he went to get his first Walkman and that kind of stuff. And kind of took us back. But Circuit City was growing. They were at the top of the industry with their store chain, and they were kicking butt, and in-store sales were great, and things began to change electronically. Things were going online. The industry was going in a different direction, and Circuit City didn't pay attention. And within a matter of year, I think he said it was 1999, they were number one. And in 2004, they filed bankruptcy. And simply because they did not watch the direction of which how buying and selling was going. They did not have a futuristic plan. They weren't listening to their customers. It killed them. They went under. And his whole point behind that was they're listening to us. They listen to their brand ambassadors. They listen to their customers. They are hearing what we're saying, and they take note, and they do have a futuristic plan. They do want us going in the right direction because things are evolving and changing every single day, and they want to be at the top of their game. So in order to do that, you've got to have eyes in every single direction. And he was letting us know that they do. And the belief that just erupted inside of me, that, that they listen to us, number one, is huge. They care about our concerns. And when we call in with ideas, they listen to us, y'all. They really do. They want to know where our heart is. And, but how exciting that was, that his whole point was, we see where we're going in the future. And that just meant the world to me. And on our last night there, we were walking around the farewell party, and Julie and I ran into Gene, and we just immediately started thanking him for the party, for the whole week. And we just said, thank you, thank you. He said, no, he said, thank you. He said, you guys did this. And, I know what he was saying, but they put all that together for us. But he is just, and then he also told us, he said, I have been around talking about in this industry. He said, I have been around, and he said, this is the best company. We are the best, and we're at the top. And I just love that. He was such a genuine guy. And so that was really cool. And then one of my other favorite parts, and I'm sorry if I'm taking everybody else's story, but they honored Jake Hoffman and Elaine something. And
Pike, Chris Pike's wife.
thank you. I was like, she married somebody. Who's she married? She married Chris Pike. When you're with the company as an employee for 10 years, you also earn that trip and you get to go to Hawaii or Mexico. I just thought that was so cool. They love their employees just like they love their brand ambassadors. So anyway, Jake offered to say something, and he started with Plexus as a 19-year-old kid working in the warehouse where everybody starts, working in the warehouse, stuffing packages, mailing stuff out. And he's worked his way up over the years. But he told this story, and it just meant so much to me because I already love Alec tremendously and respect that man. Tarl and Alec both, they are just the real deal. And he told this story. They were moving from one warehouse to another. We were growing, and he said, and that's not even where we are now. He said, we moved since then. And he said that there got left behind a huge pallet full of Probio 5 got left behind in the old warehouse. And he said, by the time we realized it, we brought it to Alec's attention. What do we do? This, of course, they realized it was an accident. And he said, without hesitation, he said, get rid of it. We don't know if it's any good. We don't know. A selfish man, a money-minded man might have said, let's send it to, to testing and see if it's okay. We can't afford to lose all that Probio 5. We don't want to lose all that money. Not even he didn't bat an eye. And he said he just told him to get rid of it. He did not want to chance it, sending that out and it not be good. And it, had only been in there for 3 days, but they simply didn't know. And Jake said that watching that man make that decision like that in front of him, he said, it changed my life. And he said, I knew I was in the right place at the right time, and that Alec was the real deal, and that his number one passion was Plexus, and he didn't want to do anything to harm it. So that just meant the world to me. Of course, we already knew that, but hearing from a young man at that time, seeing that and how that changed his life, and he's still there today, that just means a lot. And it just instilled so much fresh belief in me I already had. But to get to hear stories like that, it just really shakes you up. And you just know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are exactly where God wants you to be. And we're in the best company in the world.
Yes. Oh gosh, Vicky, that story, that it doesn't surprise me, like you said, but just to hear it, that's amazing.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's so different than what so many people are used to when they think of a CEO and a president.
The best part of that story, though, was when Tarl spoke up. So Alec was all shook up. You could tell Alec was wanting to cry because Jake's telling this story about him. So he's you can tell he's embarrassed, but he's wanting to cry. And everybody in the room was like, oh my gosh, like we were all just like such a man of integrity. So Tarl gets up trying to lighten the mood, and he's like, yeah, Alec and I were almost through all that Probio 5 from 10 years ago. He's like, you didn't think we were going to throw that stuff away, did you?
That's hilarious.
It was pretty funny.
That's funny. Oh my goodness. All right, let's keep on going. Thank you so much, Vicky. That was so good. All right, Amy Triplett, Sapphire Ambassador. Amy, how many years have you gone on the Emerald Extravaganza?
This was my 8th trip.
Your 8th?
Maybe so. I don't know if we count 2020 or not, but
oh yeah, well you earned it. Yeah, you earned the money.
Earned it, yeah.
And I know you've taken Joey several times, your husband, you've taken your mom, and then this time you took your sister. That's really cool.
It was so cool. And just getting to see like through her eyes, like just, I hate to say this word, I'll never get used to the way they treat us, But you know, but for someone who has not been used to it, like just the little room drops, like every night they put presents on your bed, and just how friendly everyone is, and it's just so amazing. So it was fun to to see it through her eyes. But one thing I noticed, I just wanted to say this, I'm going to share a really special story too in a minute. But what I noticed is just talking to different people, and I hope this is encouraging to you, even if you think about the different people sharing tonight. It's not a personality type. It's not, you know, one magic way. We have our systems, we have to, you know, there's different things to do, but a lot of people just lean into their own strength, and the people that are there are the ones who want to be there. Like they're the ones who want, that's why I feel like the common area between the people who really build a strong business is they want it, and they keep showing up. And and I love like that there's so many different, like I'm listening to Christina Williams. If you guys don't know who she is, look her up. She's amazing, but she intimidates me a smidgen because she just has some different skill sets that I don't quite possess. So while I'm learning those different skill sets, like doesn't mean that I can't build in and lean into my strengths, you know, because she'll tell you that she has some areas that she could grow into, but we all have the same opportunity. I really loved the guest speaker. I'm not going to speak all about him because someone else may, I'm not sure, but I just loved it. And but the point of this is I went and ordered his book. I've been reading it. I'm almost done already. But the point is they bring in the best of the best. Like they just do everything top notch, and it was amazing. So here's the story I want to share. This, I might get emotional, by the way, because I walked away and started crying after this. And it was really beautiful again for my sister to be there and hear this too. So many of you know or may not know, but one of my very closest sideline friends with Plexus, her name was Dawn Andrews. We started around the same time in February of 2014, and we became friends pretty quickly. And it seemed we ranked around every time we ranked together. It was kind of fun. Her and another girl named Melanie Allen, we just find those sideline sisters, find the ones who uplift you and that you're positive and like they bring you up. But those are the two that I would count like as my sideline sisters that we really grew together. Dawn got cancer, and pretty soon into her Plexus journey, and she went to the traditional route, and she did end up beating cancer, but then it came back with a vengeance, and she went the natural route. And that woman was a fighter. Like she was amazing. Her attitude was incredible. Her whole thing was do joy now. That's how she lived her life. And I think it sustained her life for a while because they didn't give her much time, but she lived beyond what they said. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So in 2021, when we went to Mayakoba, Mexico, Dawn actually passed away the day that we got there. She was supposed to be there. She was on a trip, another leadership trip somewhere else in Utah, I think. And she passed away while she was there. I don't know if you guys remember, but Plexus like came together and like as a company and as like certain leaders and just the whole community really, because anybody could donate, they were able to fly her daughter from a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean and get there and to say goodbye to her. And like I said, she passed away in 2021, September 7th. And that was the day most of us arrived in Mexico. The very next day, when we had our big meeting, they already built this beautiful tribute to her. Like it was just, they just care and they love. Okay, I'm getting to the point, I promise. So through that, Melanie and I, and maybe some other Jules, we've kind of poured into her team a little bit. And like, I'll go on her team page and because she still has a team. And one of the women on her team, her name is Lisa Winthrop. She's a chiropractor. And I love Lisa. Lisa is really, she's a senior Ruby, a strong leader. She does a whole lot for Dawn's team. And I see her in there and I love her and I encourage her. We always connect when we're at convention and things like that. And so anyway, my sister and I were in the lobby, like at registration, and I see Lisa. And I'm like, okay. I was like, how did I miss your Emerald announcement? What are you doing here? And she was like, believe me, you would not miss my Emerald announcement. She's like, I will definitely earn it on my own account, but I'm actually here as Dawn's mother's guest. And I was like, okay. And so I meet Dawn's mom, who looked just like her. So for those of you who don't know, you actually, I don't know if it's at jewel status or when you can. Dawn was a sapphire, but you can will your business to your family, which is unbelievable. And Dawn, within like the last stages of her life or whatever, she was able to put her Plexus money into a trust for her 5 children. And so Dawn has maintained a jewel status. Her team has maintained since she passed away, and every dime of that she has been paid, it's gone into a trust for her children. Well, her mother is the I don't know if the owner, the person in charge of that trust, whatever you call it. And so Plexus called her 3 weeks before the trip, her mother, and they said, your daughter has earned this trip. She has this trust. We would love to invite you to come in her place, and you can bring a guest. And then her mother invited Lisa, because as a gratitude of just how Lisa has been really helping her team. But the thing is, you guys, here's the best part for me. Like, well, that's the best part, really. I walked away and I just cried because I was able to hug her mom and share, because we pretty much talked every day. Like, she was a very good friend of mine. And I just thought, what company does this? You know, they did not have to do that. They did not announce that. I only knew that because I ran into Lisa. It is not because they're trying to make a name for themselves. They just genuinely love, love, love people. And I was talking to Lisa after, and her mom was just like floored. Like, she just couldn't believe like how kind people were, and she loved hearing the stories of her daughter and just how she impacted so many. And her mom was like, should I work this business? Like, should I be? And Lisa was like, yeah, are you kidding? Of course you should. And so because her mom hasn't, she's just kind of been in charge of the trust or whatever. So I just, guys, these things, they fill your cup. Like, go to, I'm not gonna say it the right way, Punta Cana. I don't know how to say it either. I say it differently than Amber did. So, but like, it's more than just a fun trip. Like, it is your belief. I mean, just the side conversations you have with people, just the heart of the company, the things that are upcoming. It's unbelievable. Like, there's not a doubt in my soul that I belong here. And like, I have gotten rid of every distraction, anything. This is where I belong. And you do too. So you're in the right place. And just trust us when we tell you, like, these people have integrity, they love you, and they really do things the way it could be and should be done, and rarely is.
Wow, I did not know that. That is amazing that they did that for her precious mama. I mean, and then that she paid it forward and invited Lisa. Like, that's just such a great story.
I know. And they didn't even advertise it.
Again, it doesn't really surprise me. But it's just such a great story. So right now we will take a quick break to see the cutest baby. Okay, sorry, I had to. Okay, Linda Brown, Aunt Linda, it is your turn, little lady. This was your first trip to Mexico with Plexus, right? And then you went to Hawaii last year. Okay.
Well, I earned Mexico the year before, and I was
That's right.
recovering from COVID and couldn't go.
That's right.
So that
Yes.
was my first trip to Mexico, and I loved it. It was so good. And, you know, Vicki took a lot of my stories, so I had to come up with new stuff. But anyway, one thing that I was really excited about, we really wanted them to do it a little bit differently. Some of the ladies that I had talked to about mentioning how many are here that are 60 and over. And I don't know, there was a lot of hands that went up that were 60 and over, but they didn't mention and ask how many 70 and over. We had a lady there. Darlene, is she a sapphire or is she an emerald, Jana? Or do y'all know?
Sapphire.
She's 76 and she's a hoot. I'm telling you, I couldn't believe she was 76. And then 2 74s, me and another lady that are 74 that I knew of. There may have been others there, but I didn't know them. But I just thought that is so great. it is not just for the youth, guys. It's for the older people too. We want to finish strong. And it's so, we forget. I think sometimes we forget that there is an older generation that Connie Lee's on here. She's in that category. The older, she'll probably shoot me for that one. But we're older, but we're aging well because we have these amazing products, these supplements. That's not what I was going to talk about. But anyway, so my story that I had, I flew out with Vicky and Brandon, and then of course Julie and Eric were there. And I knew it was going to be the two of them, or the four of them together, and I was the fifth wheel. Although they made me feel very included in stuff. They loved me. They gave me the respect of my age. But anyway, but I didn't want to get and mess up with their stuff. So, I wanted them to have time together. So on Saturday, I kind of went off by myself after we had our sessions and everything. So I went off by myself, and I went over to that little village where the church was. I don't know what it was called. And we never left the resort. We stayed on the resort. It was totally protected, and we were so safe. And so I went over there, and I thought, well, I'm going to have lunch over there. And I went into this little burger place, and I sat down, and the Colorado game was on. So I got to watch that. There was only about 4 people in there besides me, and got the best BLT, French fries. And I'm sorry, but I got a Coke. I couldn't help it. But I am drinking my hydrate tonight. So I got a Coke, and I was sitting there, and I was eating and watching the football game, and I was just enjoying solitude. Sometimes we need to pull away a little bit. And this is what this trip was for me. I used it as a pull away time of rest and of working on my book and things like that I don't get to just sit down and do at home. I just can't. There's too much stuff going on. But so anyway, I went over there, and I was sitting there, and I was watching the game, and I noticed they had this long table over to my left. But I wasn't paying that much attention. And then all of a sudden I noticed, here comes Alex with his wife, Trish. Here came in Tarl with his wife. Coach and Patty were there. Sheila Medina and her husband. And then the other lady who's real good friends with Patty. I think her name is Carol. Is that right, Vicki? I don't know. Vicki knows who I'm talking about. Nancy or Carol or something. I can't remember. But her and her husband were there.
Davises.
And, what is it?
Was it the Davises? Are they
The Davises, but I can't remember her first name. But yeah, but these people were foundational in Plexus all those years ago. They were some of the first ones that came into the company. And so this was kind of like a reunion lunch they were having. So as they're all getting situated, I'm trying to pay for my bill, and I'm trying not to look, you know how it is, you're looking over your shoulder, because there are, they're the reason that we're in Plexus. They built our company the way it is. And so you kind of just get awestruck sometimes, but yet they are so real and down to earth. And so I'm giving the girl my card to pay for my food, and they can't get the internet to work. And so they're swiping my card, and it's not going through. And I'm thinking, they're going to think I don't have any money in my account, and I don't have money to pay for my food. My card has been declined. So she came over and just apologized. I said, well, I've got some cash. It's just, but we can't give you any change back other than pesos. Well, I didn't want pesos. So they finally just deducted a lot off my bill when I was able to pay with what I had without breaking any big bills. So I got to thinking, here this whole table is with people there to eat, and probably they just sign it to a room or whatever. But I went over as I was leaving and said hi to everybody. And they recognized my face. They probably don't know who I am, but they've seen me around since the Phoenix convention. What was that? 2015, I believe it was our first convention. And so they've seen me around. We've always talked to them. I always get my picture taken with them and everything. And so they knew me, but I said hi to them, shook hands with everybody. And I'd already talked to Coach and Patty earlier because we were in Phoenix with them, kind of got friendly with them. and said hello. And then I kind of leaned over to Tarl and I said, just so you know, the credit machine is not working because their internet's down. I said, just so you know, just giving them a heads up, just so you're prepared. But and he looked at me and the first thing he said was, are you taken care of? If I hadn't been, he would have taken care of me. And that is Plexus to me. I could get teared up about that, but he cared enough about a little old woman with her food bill to take care of my food. And I have been sold on this company for a really long time. I'm not going anywhere. The products are amazing. They do what they say. They have kept my health. I'm not on any medication. What can I say? I'm healthy. And I enjoyed that trip and walked everywhere. Got all of my little circles all done on my watch the whole time I was there. So, when you're recruiting people, don't forget about the older people. Yeah, the young people, you want to recruit them because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get a runner and everything. But look at the 70-year-olds that were there who are runners and who work the business. Don't forget us. So that's all I had to say.
Oh, I love that. I love that all these stories are about like the heart of Plexus rather than like, this is what we learned in this session. It speaks volumes to me. I'm assuming Tarl had some cash and they're not still sitting at a restaurant in Mexico trying to figure out what to do.
No, we went back a day or two later and they were gone. So I'm sure they figured it out.
Good deal. But that's a really awesome story. Stephanie, okay, how many trips was this for you? Vicky, did I ask you that? How many was this for you? You've been to Hawaii?
This was my third Emerald Extravaganza.
The third one, okay, but you've earned 3 or you've gone on 3 because of 2020?
I've earned 3 because we didn't have one in 21.
Okay.
No, we didn't have one in 2020. We had 21, 22.
Didn't have one in 2020.
Yeah, but we didn't go Emerald until 2020. I went Emerald in August. You went Emerald in September.
Okay.
So yeah.
This is my third one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Stephanie, how many was this for you?
I think it was my 8th, like Amy.
Okay.
I think.
Is that right? Well, yeah.
7 or 8. It was 7 or 8.
I think that would be
We're
right.
going on 10 years in January. So
That's incredible. Did you ever in a million years
oh my
think
goodness.
I'll be able
Not
to
even
take a luxury
clue.
trip every
No.
year for the rest of my life? Like Amy and I talk about that when we're on these trips, that we get to go on trips together, these 5-star hotel. Like, who does this?
Yeah.
It's bonkers how the Lord has blessed. But go ahead and tell us some of your
Well, this isn't what I was going to start out with, but since you brought that up, it just reminded me. So most of you guys know my story, how my husband wasn't like real supportive, which that's what like put the fire under me and motivated me to start really working my business. And anyway, so he's been with me on these trips and it's been amazing. But we had supper one night and he just looks at me and just said, thank you. I said, for what? He said, just for all of this. He said, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. We wouldn't be able to do all these things if it wasn't for you. That right there meant more than any of the trips. And you'll know what I mean when you guys go to. Sorry, because I've been teary-eyed ever since all these stories too, and I've heard most of them. But it's just an amazing company. Like you guys said, it's a company that genuinely loves people and truly cares. Going into this, it's been for a few months now. My belief doesn't waver. I always have a belief in this company. I believe in it. But my belief in myself and how you start to let negative things really take over like your mindset. And it just kind of, okay, well, so you start second guessing a lot of things when deep down you really know. That's kind of where I was before this trip. Just completely transparent and honest, it's been hard for me to kind of post about the business. That's a hard thing for me, because I question my leadership and how can I help somebody achieve their goals, when I'm struggling internally so much. And the trip couldn't have come at a better time. And Amber, I don't have any other stories, but I'm going to go into some of the training that I took from. So I do have notes because otherwise, and I'm kind of all over the place. So this is just from a couple of the different people, but one of them said, be strategic and set boundaries who you listen to. Mind your mind. And I wrote that down with exclamation points because that's my biggest thing of who I'm listening to is myself and all the little voices in there. It says, listen to the ones who believe in you. And, as you get into, as I think about that more, yes, I'm still reading God's word, but not as much, not taking in as much, and that's the one that believes in me the most. That's the truth. And, I was letting all the little chatter, negative Nellies and everything get into my head. So number one, mind your mind. Be strategic in who you listen to. If your belief isn't rock solid, your fear will hold you back in your actions and how you speak. And I'm not going to go into this stuff because it pretty much speaks for itself, but I'm just going to kind of read to you what I wrote down because it spoke to me in hopes that it might speak to some of you if you're feeling the same. When I set boundaries, it frees my team to set their own boundaries. If you're not prioritizing your personal business, you're duplicating that non-action down. And that hurt because that's exactly what I was doing. I wasn't focusing on my business. I kind of got more into management mode, but not even managing even. I was going the easy way out. I wasn't pushing myself, outside of my comfort zone. And I was being lazy, honestly. And I'm duplicating that non-action down. Said, pay yourself first before putting fires out, before getting to these messages, because we all get them, the text messages and the private messages that it's like, oh, I only saw a little bit of that, but I really don't want to finish it because it's going to be, something I have to troubleshoot, and that's, you don't want to deal with it. But she said, pay yourself first, meaning work your business first before you take care of that. You'll get to that. But as we're working our business, that's how we can better help people below us, our teams, just like with our products. As we're taking our products, that's how we can best troubleshoot with people because we're going through some of that same stuff or we've seen it. So then we're, leading from experience. And another big one was set time boundaries. And that's a big one. Because I don't know if you're like me, but I'll just kind of work, all throughout the day. It's always on my mind. It's not productive. But if I would just I was just thinking, so Mia goes to preschool next year from 9 to 12. Okay. What if right now I go ahead and set that time? And then the rest of my day, I'm not feeling guilty because, I'm working and not being with my kids, all those mom guilt, things that go through your mind. If I just spend that time to really focus and work on my business, and they were saying do the winning day. We've seen that sheet before. And I actually have different, I can post it in the Building Freedom page because there's different views of it with whichever works for you. But if you just work on the winning day, that takes what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe. And then that's getting you started, getting you somewhere. Because I always have a problem of, well, shoot, where do I start? I know all the things I need to be doing. Where do I start? And looking over them today, I was like, oh, that makes it easier. One of the Emeralds who went up and spoke, and she has worked many other network marketing companies. One thing stuck out to me that she said, and I don't know how many other ones, but she said, she worked in a lot of other network marketing companies. And she said, nothing compares to Plexus culture. Nothing. And the culture starts with us. Like, we have to keep it going. And so we need to look at ourselves and our teams and what we're doing to help keep this Plexus culture that we've been talking about tonight, that we love so much, this care and compassion, and keep it going ourselves. So it doesn't stop with us. And that's, even in events and stuff too, because that's kind of what I was thinking. I need the events, like the in-person things, even just meeting for coffee, meeting up to go for a walk and then coffee, with just a group of people, and they don't all have to be Plexus. Things like that. It's so easy to get sucked into our own little world and stay home and kind of become a hermit, or just be on social media and that's it. It's easier than being in person. But it's such a blessing. Even like this call tonight, I almost backed out, honestly. It scares me. After all these years, you wouldn't think that this scares me, and it still does. But I'm so glad I didn't. Last things. Are you being yourself when it comes to the dreams you carry inside yourself? I've been busy looking to my left and my right, rather than me on the inside, and just being myself and doing this how I feel the Lord is leading me and in the gifts he's given me. Like Amy was saying, we all have different strengths. What if I actually tried? If you don't try, then it's a no anyway. So why not truly try? So that's what I have.
Wow, Stephanie, I'm really glad you didn't back out either. And I think I've told you this before. Every time I hear you speak, I think it's so good. And I think to myself, why does she get nervous about this? She's really good at it. Even like, I remember when we were at convention and we had our little party and I told everyone about Jack, but when you spoke, like, it was impromptu, but it was so good. So just hear that about yourself. But those were some really good points. I took several notes there. So thank you so much for that. Okay, Jana, last up. How many trips was this for you? I think
This
you've
was
earned 9.
9, yes.
And we're able to go on 8, right?
Well, yeah,
Our first one was 2015.
15, yep.
I guess able to go on 7 because we didn't go in 2020. But
Yep. And I had
all
to miss
right,
another one. So
take it away. Tell everyone how sad it was that I wasn't there, how you didn't even get out of your room because you were just depressed the whole time.
it was hard, y'all. It was hard. I had no fun at all because Amber wasn't there.
I know.
For those of you that are new, we might have somebody new on here. Amber was not able to go because she just adopted a baby. Amber earned the trip, had airline tickets bought, everything, and then got a phone call. Baby's coming. So Amber was not able to go. So that was different. Other than my very first year, Amber's always been on the trips with me. So it really was different. So I think I've been trying to decide what direction I want to take with my short time I have with you. I want to give you guys some information on Punta Cana, however you want to say it. I want to give you some information on that at the end, because I think a few of us had a realization last night, and when we were talking about this contest, and I just want to be able to go over that with you guys, because I want to see you guys on there, or see you guys at that trip. But you guys have heard so many heartfelt stories tonight. You have heard, if you haven't, then you haven't been listening, but you have heard the heart of our company. I think you truly have. I think you have, you're walking away either with a new, idea of who our company is, or maybe it's just renewed in you. You already knew it, but it was like some of us who's been in it for a while, you know, sometimes you need to hear those stories again. You need to be renewed. And I can't say enough about the leadership of our company, where we're going. Alec and Taro got up. I think it was Alec that talked about the story about burning the ship. We're not going back. We're here to stay. We're Plexus for life. And so I just, you know, that to me, to hear your president and your CEO say things like that just means so much. They have our backs. They want the best for us. So I think I just want to take it a little bit in the direction of maybe paint a little bit of a picture for you, because I think you've seen the heart of the company. I think you have heard from these amazing women what they've taken away. I want you to know next year when you go, I want you to know what you're getting yourself into. I want you to have a little bit of idea of what you're going to walk into that first day on your first trip of your first Emerald Extravaganza. So first of all, we're going to Maui next year. Woo-hoo. Who would love to go to Hawaii? Who would love? Just raise your hand. Those of us that have been, we know, and Maui's my favorite. I've been to Kona. I've been to the Big Island. I've done several. Maui's my favorite. We're going to Maui next year. Yes, we know about the wildfires. Another just part of our company. This contract was already in place, has been for several years. And they said that they did not want to back out. They did not want to do that to the people of Maui. Where we are going is great. It was not affected. And it was even mentioned that we possibly would organize like half a day while we're there to go in and serve the people of Maui somehow, some way. Again, just the heart of our company. So we are going there. Very excited. Why Mexico? This is our second trip to Mexico. We went the first time again in 2021. The reason we did that in 2021 was because of COVID. We were supposed to go to Hawaii that year. It had always been a Hawaii trip. But we went there in 2021 because of COVID. It was easier for us to travel there actually than traveling to Hawaii. It was very locked down in Hawaii. And honestly, we fell in love with it. Fell in love with the area we went to. Just search Mayakoba. Like Amber said, it is just the area. It is this particular area. There's 4 resorts on this, I can't remember how many hundreds and hundreds of acres it is. And like Linda mentioned, there's this little village in the middle of it, a gazillion restaurants you can go to. And we all fell in love with Mayakoba. Steve was talking tonight at dinner, how he's ready to go back already. So we really do love it there. So I would just want to tell you a little bit of what it's like in case you are wondering. So first of all, you have to hit Emerald to be able to go. If you have never hit Emerald, all you have to do is hit it one time, from this past August through next July. If you hit it one time, you have secured your trip to Maui. All right. So you will get your invitation to Maui. Plexus will then pay for your airline tickets for you and a guest. Who does that? Like, what company does that? You get to pick the guest. You can take whoever you want to. So you can take your guest. They will allow extra people to come along. We have taken our daughters with us twice. We do have to cover their airline tickets and they stay with us, or they'll give you a reduced rate if you would like to get an additional room. But if you want to make it a family trip, you can do that as well. When you arrive, if in Maui, they give us a stipend for a rental car. Billy Joe, the first time you do not have to, you only have to hit it one time. After that, for those of us that are, Jules past that first year, you have to hold it for 5 months from August to July. So the first trip is only, the one time. You just have to hit it once. So in Hawaii, you get a rental car. They give you a stipend for that. So you get your rental car, you drive to the resort, you pull in. And honestly, if you're like me, After 9 years, I still pull into those resorts and I'm in awe. Like I am just in complete awe that I get to stay here for a week. I'm in shock. It is stunning, stunning. You've never seen anything like it. I can almost guarantee it. So it is absolutely beautiful. You get there, you check into your room, then you get to go over and you get to check in with Plexus. This year we go, we register, they give us the cute little bag. I'm sure you probably saw a lot of us carrying it. And then we get to go over, we got to pick a little handmade charm thing to put on our bag. Some of us got to go over and also pick out did you see a bunch of us wearing the pearl necklaces? I should have put mine on. We got to do that, get that as well this year. And they were just beautiful. That was probably one of my most favorite gifts. So then you make it to your room, you walk in, you're once again just in awe that you get to do this. That night, the first night is always a welcome party. It will blow you away because you will get there and there's more food than you can ever imagine at just stations of food everywhere, live entertainment, music playing. It's one of those, it's a reunion because you are seeing all the people you haven't seen in a long time. It is absolutely stunning. The next day is our first meeting. So you will have a meeting that morning. And I use that term loosely because I love going to the meetings. I don't know about the rest of the jewels. I look forward to going to the meetings. They're only 2 hours long and there's only 2 of them. So we go to a meeting, it's inspirational. We get to learn new information about stuff that's coming out, exciting new stuff. They normally then give us a gift after the first meeting. I mean, who does that? We've just earned this amazing trip and then we get a gift. We have got Tiffany's bracelets. We've got Tiffany's necklaces. We've got Maui Jim sunglasses, Olukai shoes. I mean, we have got all different gifts throughout the year. This year they did something really special and I actually loved it. They gave us an experience and we got to pick an experience on like I know Amy went on the trip where they did a whole adventure day. It was this adventure day you and your guests could go on. There was multiples of those to pick from. I didn't do that. I picked the spa. So I know Vicky did, I think Stephanie did, Linda. I think a lot of us picked the spa. I got to go to the spa at the Banyan Tree Resort and have an amazing massage. It was wonderful. Plexus paid for it, gratuity and everything. So I am so adventurous. I know. So I know anybody that knows me was not shocked to find out I went to the spa. So that happens on your first day. Then the rest of the time you're just free. You can go do whatever you want to. I will tell you, Steve and I walked away from this trip just saying this was the most relaxing we've ever been on because it was a hard choice every day, y'all. Every day we were like, did we go to the pool or do we go to the beach? Do we go to the pool or do we go to the beach? So some days we just went to the pool that overlooked the beach. So it was hard, I know. But you guys can do it. You can do this when you get there next year. You can make that decision. I know you can. The next day, there is also another meeting. Again, you're just learning tips. You're hearing from the best. And we had a fabulous speaker that I know they are bringing back again. If anybody can remember his name, he wrote the book. What's it called? What to Say. We've had him on book club before. If anybody remembers his name and book.
Phil M. Jones. Phil M. Jones.
Yep, he is fantastic. And I know Plexus is bringing him back. The last day there is then there is a farewell party that is unbelievable. I'm talking again, food everywhere, live entertainment. A bunch of us just ended up at a table having a good time talking and enjoying each other's company. And that's kind of your trip in a nutshell. The main thing I'm missing is all of the downtime you get to spend with whoever you want to spend it with. It is truly a vacation. Steve and I came home feeling rested. We loved every single second of it, just as we always do. And it is truly a vacation. At one point, we were sitting in our room, getting ready to go somewhere. And Steve looked at me and he said, I cannot believe we still get to do this. I can't believe it. And I hope I never lose that. I hope I never lose that awe and wonder that I get to do this. When Steve and I had been married for 10 years, which we're about to celebrate our 28th anniversary. So at 10 years, way before Plexus, we were broke as a joke and we scraped together our pennies. I won't even tell you, Steve picked up side jobs. We were doing everything we could do because I wanted to go to Hawaii. I had never been. We scraped together our pennies. I'm not joking when I tell you we ate multiple times at McDonald's in Hawaii because that's how we afforded the trip, but we still made it to Hawaii. We sat on the last row of the airplane and I didn't even care. We got to go to Hawaii. And as Steve and I we were walking the beach this past week, and I said, you know what? I thought that was a once in a lifetime trip. I didn't think I would ever get to go back. I thought this was it. And honestly, I was just so thrilled that we were there. But I thought, well, maybe for our 25th, when the kids are gone, and maybe we can scrape our pennies together again. But Plexus does this for us every year. And I still am just in awe of it. So what I want to tell you, some of you have been sitting and you have listened to this call year after year. You've heard us, you've watched us, you've seen us. There was a jewel there that spoke that started a year ago and earned this trip. You have to decide now that you're going to earn it. You have to set your sights on it, and it starts now. You can't, if you think I've got till July, you won't make it. This is a journey that you're going to have to be on. But I'm looking at the faces on here right now. I'm looking at you, and you can be on this trip. You can go on this trip with us next year. Some of you need to be like Stephanie and switch that thinking. You need to get out of your own head. You need to push that to the side and stop listening to those voices and listening to those people that do lift you up, listening to the people that tell you you can do it. Some of you have so got in your head that one or two those one or two people that have told you can't, that you're not hearing the people that tell you can, and you can do it. I promise you, we are all different. My very first convention, I walked away with, I'll never forget it because it is still so ingrained in my head. I walked away. I think I was Ruby. I'd never been to convention, went to convention. It was literally just like me, Amber, and Sunday there. There wasn't very many of us. And the one thing I know is that I walked away feeling like, wow, this is such a diverse group of people. I mean, from diverse in every single way, personalities, age, like Linda talked about, background, ethnicity, so diverse. And all that told me was that anybody can do it if you have the drive down deep to do it. Anybody can do it. So I just want to encourage you. You know what to do. So many of you are looking for like a quick fix. You're looking for like the magic answer because there's so much out there now. Scale down, focus in, and do what you know to do. You know how to get where you want to go. You know what you're supposed to do. You know what is going to work for you. You have to implement it. Knowing is not power. What is it? They said knowledge is not power. It's implementing the knowledge that is power. So many of us, all we do is gain knowledge. We just listen and we listen and we listen to all these trainings. And then all that actually does is confuse us in even more because we're like, oh, I need to grab from over her there what she said. And I need to do this system she said. And I need to do what she's saying. And then you're overwhelmed. And what happens when we're overwhelmed? We just shut down. I just shut down. I know what to do. I know how to get myself to Punta Cana or however you pronounce it. You know how to get yourself there too. And so many of you, you're just not doing it because either you're overwhelmed or you think you just need more knowledge. You just need more knowledge. Knowledge is a good thing. Implementing the knowledge is get you where you're going. All right. So scale down, pick the 2 or 3 things you know is going to get you to Maui next year. You already know what they are. I know you know what they are. Put them into practice today. Don't wait until next July. You won't be there. You need to strategize today. You need to figure out where you need to in September to be emerald by next, I would say June. I never like to risk it. So how do you need to be emerald by next June? Okay. So let's talk about the next leaders retreat. That's just what we're going to call it since none of us know how to pronounce it. All right. I am really excited about this. One, how many of you earned the cruise? I want to see how many of you earned the cruise. I got the report today from my coach. Over 30 people on our team earned the cruise. Super duper proud of you because it was not easy. And it was such a mind shift from every other contest we've done. It took me a little bit. It took me a little while to wrap my brain around it because it was so different. So we have our brains wrapped around it now. We've done it once, or we saw it done once. So it's time to kick it into gear and do it again. Okay. You guys, this is perfect. I don't know about you, but I'm not a winter girl. I do not like the winter weather. February and the sun is perfect. So I want to see you there. And so I want to talk to you about how easy it is, and really how easy it is for someone brand spanking new. I was talking to my mom today. We were talking about this, how I love this because so many times the perception of network marketing is that only the people at the top earn all the money, that nobody below earns any money. And we all know that's a lie. Everybody on this call is probably making money with Plexus. You are somehow contributing to your family's finances through Plexus. So I love that about Plexus. 2, the other lie is that only the top people earn these trips. Do you know why they set up these amazing leaders retreats? They do it not for us, Jules. That trip we just went on was our prize. They want you rewarded. They want you rewarded with a trip. This trip is more designed for someone that's not a Jewel. For many reasons, it's actually harder for a Jewel to actually earn this trip. We have to earn it same way you do. We go in with 0 credits, just like you do. Okay. So I want to read this to you and I want you to think through this. All right. If a brand new ambassador enrolls 20 people this month, I know that sounds like a lot, but it's actually not. For a brand new person who wants a trip, a free trip, it is not that much. 20 people this month, because it's double credits, you would earn the trip. That's it. A brand new person. So how many of you have a brand new person? How many of you have a brand new person that you've signed either this month or within the last 30 days? How many of you have one? Okay. How many of you have talked to them about earning Putakana? However you say it. Okay. I want you to take this information to them. If you have not, then you're doing them a disservice. You are truly doing them a disservice. And boy, I'd be upset if someone, when I got started, if someone didn't come and tell me, you sign up 20 people, Jana. I am so competitive. I would have done it just for the trip. And then what happens? They actually start making some money and they're like, tell me more how to work this business. So somebody with 20 new people would earn the trip. So this is how it would play out. 20 orders of $150 or more. And remember, it's not 150 PV. It's $150. Okay. So wrap your brain around that one. That alone equals 1,000 credits. Okay. Because of double credits just this month. When they rank up to silver, that's another 100 credits. Rank up to senior silver, that's another 120 credits. And then 20 people puts them over gold. That's another 140 credits. That equals 1,360 credits. They've earned the trip in 1 month. Then those people keep reordering and their credits just keep going up because they continue to have those retention credits. So I don't know about y'all, but that kind of blew my mind when I read that. Then according to the Fast Start program for someone new, they would also earn, get this, 1,000 $720 in cash. Somebody brand spanking new. And I can post this on Building Freedom later. Plus, then they're going to have 250 perk points. They're going to have a Bluetooth speaker. And like, wow. Like, is that kind of mind blowing to y'all? Like, because it was to me. Now, I want to back that up because this is for you too. No, most of you have already ranked up to silver, or you're not going to get some of the fast start credits, but you really wouldn't be much less than that. A lot of you could get on the ball with double credits, and you could almost have that trip earned by the end of the first month. Then everything else from there, y'all, we have through the end of December. Everything else from there is just icing on the cake. You just keep earning more and more prizes in the contest. So take advantage of the double credits. You guys, like I said earlier, you've had an opportunity to wrap your brain around why they're doing this, why we're really focusing in. Like, it's kind of like Steph talked about. We're going to pay ourselves first. We're going to work our business first. This helps us get out of management mode. This helps us to, to get into that, the self, the personal development, the personal growth that we need to get into. So, if it's a brand new investor, the fast accounts, or any VIP customer that now upgrades investor. Yes, I believe that's correct, Steph. Yes, that's correct. So I will post this on Building Freedom, or Amber can post it or something. It's very eye-opening. And you guys, I met somebody, who was I talking to? That's one of the other, just my most favorite things about going on these trips is I met new jewels. And you're literally just floating in the ocean, meeting new jewels, talking family one minute, talking business the next, talking about everything. And one of I can't even remember who it was, said she had a brand new girl who literally got in. She said, you can earn a cruise. She said, I don't care about the rest of it. Just tell me how to earn the cruise. She earned the cruise, brand new person. And now, of course, she's ready to work the business. She wants to really work the business. So I just want to encourage you that trips are incentives. They work. So a lot of you have signed up new people lately. Make sure you're telling them about Leaders Retreat in February. I promise you, you will probably have somebody bite. They will say, tell me more of how to earn the trip. And so make sure you're sharing that with them, because that is pretty eye-opening. Y'all, it's also an all-inclusive trip. If you can bring a guest. Didn't know if you knew that too. That includes a guest as well. So pretty amazing trip. I'm excited to get on it. I've got to get on it myself. I looked at my credits today, and September is slipping by, and I've got to get on it, and I'm going to run the rest of this month to take advantage of those double credits. I want to challenge you to do the same and us to be there together. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. It does not include travel. It will not include travel. But the cool thing about the all-inclusive is that while at these events, Plexus covers a lot of our meals, oftentimes they don't cover all of them. So the all-inclusive will take care of that. So that's why also when you see the prize levels, there's so many cash prize levels in that. That's to help you earn your travel money to get there. So let's run the rest of September. I'm excited for you guys to earn it. I know a lot of you will this time. I know some of you missed the cruise by a hair. And so you're ready to earn this with us and us all get there together. I think it'd be so fun. We could get there and do a team call all together from Punta Cana. I think that would be a blast. So let's get there and get it done. So that's all I got.
That's awesome. Okay, who's ready? Who's ready, like she said, to take advantage of these double credits in September, running straight ahead? And you guys, Jack will be in Punta Cana. He'll be at Leaders Retreat, however you say it. He'll be there as long as passport works out. So that's another incentive. But yes, it's going to be an amazing trip. I was just saying to Jonathan today. Go ahead, Jana.
None of y'all, if y'all come to Leaders Retreat, I just want you to know you can look at Jack, but I will be holding him the whole time. I'm really sorry that you guys won't get to hold him. I'll let you look at him though.
She's kind of feisty about it.
I'm a baby. mom.
Not
I don't know
not
what
to me, but to other people. But
I do love him. I love him a lot.
yeah, he's pretty special. But I was just saying to Jonathan today how much I wanted to have another like team retreat. Well, maybe we could just all earn leaders retreat and then that can double as our team retreat. Okay. So let's do it. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna do it. Let me close this out in prayer. Ladies, thank you so much for sharing tonight. This has been such a great call. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you so much for Plexus. Lord, we thank you for the heart of this company that we heard about so much tonight, Lord. We thank you for Alec and Tarl and Jean and Genevieve and the others there, the executives, Lord. We just pray over them. Lord, we pray for wisdom for them as they do steer us into the future. Lord, we pray for protection over them. And Lord, we just thank you so much for this company, for the gift that it is to each of us. Your word tells us that every good gift comes from above. And Lord, we consider this a very good gift. And Lord, we thank you for it. God, I thank you for each and every person that's on this call. Lord, may you just give us a good night's rest and a good day tomorrow. Lord, just help us as we finish out September, that we finish strong, we take advantage of these double credits, Lord, and that we keep our eye on the prize. Lord, thank you so much for everything you're doing in our lives. In your name, amen. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much. Have a good night.